Matt and Molly were here were you at DLI and then NPS or just DLI? Just DLI. And, like many of you, had like a season here and then were sent out. But I seem to recall, and you tell me, you can tell the story better than me, of sort of feeling like maybe God has something for us that you weren't anticipating.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. So first and foremost, I just want to say it's just awesome to be back here worshiping with you guys in Wellspring. And thank you all for having us. We were here from 18 to 2020, kind of not quite day one with the church plant.
Yeah,
but,
pretty close, though.
Pretty close, and it feels just amazing to be kind of back home here today. So I just wanted to say thanks there, and thanks for the support that the church has for us.
Yeah.
And the Lord had been working in our lives in many ways, kind of preparing us for the mission field for years, and we familiar with and had heard the Great Commission time and time again. In Matthew, Jesus says, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I've commanded you, and behold, I'm with you always to the end of the age. Heard that over and over again. I mean, Molly and I grew up in church, but it wasn't really until that Nehemiah study. I remember it was a specific Tuesday night in the annex over there upstairs that, like Samuel would encourage us, we really stopped and listened and decided to obey and not just kind of hear it and move on past. So we were there and said, hey, this is the moment we were doing something that, for folks that didn't come from California, was a little bit like West Coast something. When Tony's like, hey, we're gonna lay some papers down at the foot of the cross over here, get like very like incarnational in this space and do that. And it was a little foreign to us. Yeah. But I was like, hey, let's actually lay this down. Let me lay down my note at the foot of the cross here. And so it was in that context that we said, let's listen and obey and follow Christ in missions with our lives.
So you were here. You felt like this call to mission. Yep. Maybe tell us a little more about like what that looks like.
Yeah. So like many others who have come here for the Presidio or MPS, we had a little bit of a service commitment to finish up. So we moved away about 2 years back for that. And in that time since, we've just kind of felt our heart for the unreached has only grown. And we've become kind of felt more and more called to the refugee crisis that's happening in Europe and to the church that God has there just doing amazing things, bringing people in a relationship with him in that context. Wow. So we've found a team of like-minded, like-hearted folks on the ground.
That's awesome.
We'll be headed to a strategic city in France where we've got a church plant that's been planted into a kind of a hub for a number of neighborhoods that are predominantly migrants and refugees and very much underserved. So we'll be joining that church plant there. And then also in that context, the church runs a cafe and community center, kind of refugee ministry, meeting a lot of the practical needs with language classes and legal help for asylum cases or mommy meetups, something like MOPS or after school help, really just whatever it is that we can be the hands and feet of Christ in that setting for people that are in desperate need.
It's awesome.
And then through that kind of strategic hub city where all these unreached peoples are now, planting churches back to the nations. So we're just really excited about that. And
that's
to join
amazing.
Christ in that.
So just big picture, right? Like, I don't know. I just think it's beautiful to see like the whole process. Like you showed up here for language school, and a few years later, you're going to a strategic city in Europe in order to now be a part of church planting among people, refugees that maybe will plant churches back in their home countries. It's like, yeah, God can do some stuff. Yeah. Well, it's just an inspiring story. So we're going to be, one of our commitments as a church is as people go into full-time ministry, like we want to support them. And so you guys are going to be out here. You'll have info and stuff. But are there other ways? Like, I don't know, what can people learn? Or what can they do to sort of learn more about what you're doing if they want to support it individually or whatever that is? Yeah.
Yeah, so first of all, we are going to be here all week long. So if anyone feels like they're interested in our mission, wants to talk more, we would love to get together one-on-one. This was kind of the 30,000-foot view, and we are very passionate about it, so we could talk a long time. So we'd love to meet up. And otherwise, we do have a table, like Tony said, and we have a newsletter that we send out once a month that you can sign up for as well.
It's awesome. So if you lead a well community, if you have a ministry that you'd be interested in them sharing at, if you individually want to learn more about, it sounds like the refugee crisis or their ministry in specific, feel free to talk with them. They'll be out here. With that said, I would love to just say a blessing over us. So please stand for a blessing. If you're new visiting, we just eat in here. We try and do like Jesus and break bread together as a way of building relationship. So feel free to stay if you'd like. May the peace of the Lord Christ go with you wherever he may send you. May he guide you through the wilderness and protect you through the storm. May he bring you home rejoicing at the wonders he has shown you. May he bring you home rejoicing once again into our doors. It's good to be with you guys.